What's happening, Internet? It's me, KZ, and this shall be an update video. Let's get started. So, hope everyone's doing well. It has been a very long time since I did one of these update videos publicly, as opposed to doing them privately. I've been doing them over on Patreon. Come to realize, not a lot of people come to the Patreon for that specific thing, or at the very least, it doesn't grow that way. And I thought it'd be better to do these update videos publicly. Maybe that'll drum up support for the Patreon. That is patreon.com/KZXcellent. Link in the description. It helps keep the lights on and continue to allow me to do what I do. But here we are. Thought I would sit down for a good little bit here to talk about the channel, recent content, how I've been doing, what are my plans for the future, that kind of thing. It has been about a couple of months since I did the last one of these. Apologies to my supporters for not doing one in a bit, but it has been a bit of a busy thing recently. But I'm very excited to sit down and talk a little bit about it. So, usually what I do on these is I go over to the main channel here, talk about recent content that's come out. I don't know if I'll be able to cover absolutely everything since the last one of these, but, you know, it is what it is. But it does feel good to have a video here on the channel that's a bit more casual, where I can talk to you guys. That is beyond, like, a live stream that lasts several hours, where people are coming and going, and that kind of thing. I used to do this quite a bit when we did Let's Play stuff over on the original channel, before I pivoted over to this live content. So let's head on over here. This is, of course, the channel, KZXcellent.com. We've had a bit of a busy one ever since the last of these. Let's see, what have we been doing on the channel since the last time that I met with you guys, at least on the last Patreon update. So I'm going to try and have a little bit of consistency here. We were bouncing between Digital Devil Saga and Paper Mario games. I was prepping for the Thousand Year Door remake by playing the original Paper Mario, which I ended up doing around here. And then I was also doing both Digital Devil Saga games. I had been meaning to want to replay those, especially because I was getting in more of a Mega 10 mood, because Vengeance was coming out. So, went through those, enjoyed one. I enjoyed Paper Mario 1 as well. Didn't feel like it fully gained its separate identity from, like, Super Mario RPG just yet, but thankfully, the Thousand Year Door nailed it. Had not played that before. Thoroughly enjoyed my time with it. Very good. Digital Devil Saga 2, also really great. Glad to replay one of my favorites on that front. Really an upgrade in basically every way. We started doing some best of content in the form of me collecting some of the best clips in chronological order from the start of, like, 2023. Gonna try and see how often that I can do that. I'm sorry that there's been a bit of a gap in it. I just haven't had the time to, like, sit down and, like, collect it and spend a good chunk of hours, like, fashioning it into a video, but I definitely do want to continue to do that. Of course, it's not something that's going to just melt away, because there's a lot of good stuff that we need to get to in terms of good material. And then we had some summer game stuff, so I did RE4 and in between is a fun little filler-like thing to do on the stream. And then we reacted to a bunch of press conferences, some retro ones here, like the old Xbox one from 2014. Some Pokemon Stadium rental randomizer we did a couple of times. Then we hit the SMT5 Vengeance, where I did both routes. That was arduous, but I thoroughly enjoyed my time going through both of them and getting that plat off stream once I finished up clearing all this across 9 days of streaming. Then we did SpongeBob Death Stream. We did a full run of Dawn Trail, the new Final Fantasy XIV expansion. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Then before the Kingdom Hearts Marathon could start, we slipped in some Dot Hack. I played the first Dot Hack game, Dot Hack Infection, because both Alto and a viewer, Bolivian Bird, were very kind enough to send me the entire collection of these games on PS2, because they have not ported or remastered these. So, very happy to have them. Enjoyed the first game, so we will be continuing once things calm down a little bit here. But now we got the Kingdom Hearts Marathon. As promised, I made a donathon to try and get myself into a new place, because the old place was really scary. And we made it, and this was the biggest thing as a part of an incentive, because it is a multi-day, multi-week undertaking. And so far, we've gone through Kingdom Hearts 1, Chain of Memories, Reverse Rebirth, and Kingdom Hearts 2. And it's gone pretty well. We also did a watch party for EVO, for the EVO Final Sunday, because I find that to be the probably the most fun part of watching those. And it was a good time. We did this last year, so it was great to do it again this year. Overall, I'm pretty happy with all the content we put out. There have been some streams in which I wasn't like 100% on them, but that's just because of my own general exhaustion and stuff. I'm trying to take more break days after I like finish games and stuff like that. But overall, I'm feeling pretty good about the stuff that I put out overall. So I'd like to talk a little bit about what the rest of the things I have to do are. So here's the part where we talk about upcoming things. So first up, the marathon's still going. The remaining games we have to go through would be Kingdom Hearts Days. So it'd be 358 Days over 2. That's the DS game. I'm going to give a try on this Melon Mix thing that has come out, which is supposed to be like an HD, like, fan remaster of the game. Basically, it puts the game into widescreen and tries to make it, like, more consistent with other KH games. I'm gonna give it a try. If I find it to be bugged and not great, it's still using a DS emulator. So I'll be able to just pivot to the original version. Will not, of course, be watching the movie versions of this. But there are parts of me that really does want to do that, because holy shit, is this such an undertaking to play all this stuff. But I will not cheat. I will continue going through this apace, as you expect. We gotta celebrate these games for what they are. Games. Those movies do very much underserve, especially Days. So we'll be doing Days, and then we'll be doing Birth by Sleep, and then we will be doing Recoded, and then we will be doing Dream Drop Distance, and Kingdom Hearts 3. And that will wrap up our time with the marathon. I know some people might be disappointed we're not doing a back cover watch, but that was like a 50-minute thing. Oh yeah, we're also doing 0.2 before KH3, but I always consider that like the intro to KH3 almost, because it's very short. But yeah, there's no real interest in doing like a back cover thing. It just kind of feels like an extra thing to tack on. But aside from that, that's what we got going over the KH Marathon. It's definitely going to take another good chunk of time to chip away at that. I'm going to try and get other streams in between them. I'm still kind of figuring things out. We're going into August, and things are going to start getting way more busy. So it's very hard to figure out where certain things are going to land. A lot of games are coming out. I'm sure I'll probably do some stream content for like upcoming games like the new Assassin's Creed, Star Wars Outlaws, maybe Visions of Mana if I receive code for that. What else is on the horizon for stuff? We have a new Mario and Luigi game coming out this year, so I'd like to try and do the first game at least, just to be like, hey, we got a little bit of a stream of one of the older ones in there. So I'm gonna see if I can do that. We'll see if we have time. We have the Answer DLC coming out, I believe, September. September's gonna be horrible. September to October is just gonna be too much between stuff like Sonic and Shadow, and then we've got Metaphor. We got the Persona 3 DLC in September. We've got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. A lot of games, and of course Mario Party, which we'll be doing a lot of streams of that. All of that in there, and I still got to figure out where to do special streams that are a bit more impromptu. I definitely want to do something Dead Rising related, because we have the Deluxe Remaster dropping. Another game that is dropping around this period. Really crazy when you see the amount of people going, it's a very soft year for video games. And I'm like, yeah, if your taste is like one genre or one franchise, my guy, like, it is a rush of stuff if you actually have interests that are not narrow. But yeah, currently, if you're like looking for what's going to be in the very close future, it's mostly going to be Kingdom Hearts stuff as we continue to go through those. But the streams have been doing well. People have been enjoying those, and I really appreciate that. But I'm going to try and slip in some more .hack PS2 stuff somewhere. I'm going to try to really have a comprehensive marathon coming up of Dragon Ball. Because Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is going to be coming out in early October. And that's a momentous release, and I wanted to celebrate by playing a lot of Dragon Ball games. From the old stuff to the portable stuff to the many fighting games and stuff. I wanted to go through that, and I already got a few of them over here, excited to dig into it. But that was something that I was promising near the start of the Kingdom Hearts Marathon, that I would do this. It'll be the last big marathon-style thing I'll do, but it's going to be a bit more casual, and thank God that it's not 85 million RPGs, because Kingdom Hearts is pretty arduous when you have to binge through all of it the way that I do. But, you know, when it's your favorite series, it's rewarding in its own way. I've thoroughly liked going through Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 on its original versions. It's been great to see what their original balance was like, especially Kingdom Hearts 2, a game that is enhanced in basically every area by Final Mix, either from a variety of abilities, additional story stuff, aesthetic changes to like Christmas Town, rearranging where you gain certain abilities that make the game generally feel different, and the increased damage through its new difficulty mode made this one just feel weird, especially toward the end game. But I did enjoy my time. It's still KH2. Chain of Memories, I was happy to get through basically all of the game on the GBA mode, until I got to the very end and I went, oh, okay, we'll just go on the PS2, we're good. I don't know, I find the end game in that should just not be fun on any level. It just kind of, the enemies are just too fast, and I feel like they're like way too good for the game systems that exist. Where I'm not saying it's impossible, because I've beaten it before, but it's definitely something where I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And I feel like I've shown most of what makes that game, that original version, special. And then we did the PS2 version of Rebirth, which I think is like kind of like a cool compromise. And in the end, we got to show the unique content of both routes through how I did it, because I got to show the exclusive new Sora content in the remake because it's the final boss for him, and doing all of Riku's stuff on the PS2, PS4 version let us show off the extra boss fight he got. Anyway, what are we looking at? 12 minutes here on this thing? Alright, we should start landing the plane. I'm not going to let you live here the whole time. That's not fair to you. You got places to be, I assume. Let's see. That's a little bit of all I'm working on. Let me see other games that are on the horizon. I'm sorry this is so jumbled and not like a localized thing. I'm kind of panicking about the amount of games and streams I want to do, because we're in the middle of a marathon and there's so many games coming out, and I haven't really had the time to get all the dates locked in and start making like a short list schedule for me of, alright, I finish around here, then I move on to this. Something I usually do throughout the year. Here it's just so chaotic that it's like, who knows how this is going to turn out. But I also do plan on doing a little mini dev stream for Astro's Playroom. That's going to be around September, in time for the Astrobot release, because that's going to be a big platformer. We might be dev streaming that. We'll see how it goes. They said it's a pretty lengthy one, but we'll see. It depends on what reviews say on how long it is or something. If it ends up being like a 9 or 10 hour affair, I'm like, well, the game's going to be delightful, so it's good the hours are going to go by really fast. But we'll see how things go when I get to it. But that's a bit of a look at what we're going to be doing coming up. I do want to go back to doing polls over on Patreon to get you guys to vote on certain things. But at the moment, there's just too many releases coming out that I'm missing. I'm going to be missing stuff. That's how rough it is. But I will be able to get into moments in the future, I imagine, where I'll be able to put up polls and give you guys a bit of a voice on what we should get in there. Polls definitely make sense when things are a bit more calm. And boy, are they not right now. I got tired just explaining what I'm doing. I'm on my day off. I'm gonna go, like, eat a thing, I imagine, in the next 20 minutes. I'm dying a little bit. But I'd like to thank you guys so much for your support. I am putting this out on the last day of the month, of course, and you know, you're the reason I can pay my rent, keep things going, all that type of stuff. I hope my content has been enjoyable. If you have any questions, comments, concerns about anything genuinely, leave it down below, and I'll try to, I'll try to address the best I can. But yeah, I'm gonna try and do these monthly, usually toward the end of the month, to talk with you guys. They might come earlier or later, depending on what I'm doing. But that's kind of what the plan is here. Thank you so much for the support, and the best way you can support me beyond just subscribing on Twitch if you watch that, is going on Patreon and pledging whatever amount you wish. Doesn't matter. The higher the better, obviously. Like, fucking, yeah, I ain't gonna say no, you know. You can head on over to the Patreon. There's a link in the description. And thank you guys. And if the Patreon starts popping off like in a real way, I might be able to actually pay my editor again. We can start getting a lot of supercuts out here. I have several of them, like, in the tank, but I will not touch them until I've properly paid, and, well, I can't do that yet. But, anyway, that's gonna do it. Hope you've enjoyed the content. Make sure to check back later. As always, follow me on Twitter/X. You know, you can go there. We have a community Discord. We've got the YouTube channel here. We got the Patreon. We got all those things that people like. Thank you. Your support means everything. Now, I know you've heard this from many other YouTubers, but most YouTubers don't pay their rent exactly on the 1st because that's when they have the exact amount. And some of them are very comfortable. They're making like 30K on YouTube or some shit. They get Manscaped ads. I mean it when I say it. We're breaking even, boys. Thank you everybody for watching. I will talk to you soon. That's gonna do it.